avec Pixel, qui a pas de tête sur le stream.
Hey!
on va y arranger la tronche dans pas long. Mais écoutez, ça va, Pixel?
Yes.
Yes.
À part ma tête manquante.
Ouais, à part ta tête manquante?
Ouais.
Ah, c'est pas super. Ben écoute, fait que tu vas nous ouvrir ça avec Banjo-Kazooie, avec ta catégorie Any% DDA RBA. Que, tu un peu élaborer sur ta catégorie 30 petites secondes?
Ouais, en fait, c'est une relativement nouvelle catégorie. Il y a un glitch qui a été découvert il y a environ un an, même pas, moins d'un an, qui nous permet de sortir de la démo initiale du jeu. C'est pour ça que j'ai pas encore parti le jeu, parce que vraiment la run comme telle commence dans la démo. Donc, DDA, c'est pour Demo Desync Adventure. Donc, c'est vraiment, on part du fichier de démo, on n'a aucun fichier de sauvegarde et on fait le jeu au complet à partir de là en une seule traite. Et RBA, c'est pour, en fait, c'est une petite référence à Ocarina of Time avec le Reverse Bottle Adventure. Ils ont découvert sur 64 à l'époque qu'on pouvait utiliser l'abeille ailleurs que dans son tableau sur lequel il est intended, donc dans lequel on devrait l'utiliser. Donc, vraiment, ça nous permet de faire la grande majorité du jeu de manière complètement folle. Sur Xbox, le truc est un petit peu différent, mais étant donné qu'on utilise le nouveau glitch DDA, je vais partir vraiment plus loin à l'intérieur du jeu en termes de level. Puis je vais vraiment revenir jusqu'au début pour aller chercher plusieurs choses qui manquent pour retourner à la fin, me transformer en abeille et ensuite faire le reste du jeu, ou presque tout le reste du jeu en abeille. Donc, c'est une petite explication de la catégorie. Any% c'est simplement finir le jeu le plus vite possible sans aucune restriction autre que finir le jeu. Fait que sur ce, je vais commencer. Comme je disais tout à l'heure, le timer va commencer au moment où je prends le contrôle de Banjo. Donc, c'est environ 1 minute et demie après le début de l'introduction. Donc, pour tous les gens qui regardent à la maison ou ailleurs, merci d'être là. Pour la personne qui regarde ici, merci d'être là. Fait que ça ressemble à ça. Puis pendant l'intro, ben, je vais introduire un petit peu tout ça. Donc, les gars, pour le timer, je vais vous le dire à peu près le 3-2-1 où vous allez pouvoir le commencer environ quand que je vais mourir à l'intérieur de la démo. Ça va être assez difficile à manquer. Fait que, allons-y. Oui. Pour le starter. OK. Oui. So I'll be switching up to English for the remainder of the run. The reason for that being most of the people watching at home are English speakers, at least usually. So, yeah. So I'm Pixel911. I'm going to be playing BK Any% DDA, which is played on the Xbox version of the game. The DDA glitch is Xbox exclusive, and it's been discovered about 6 months ago by me and Marcus Mann, and since then, quite a few of us have worked on it. It's basically, we're going to desync this demo real quick, if it works, by switching up the scene that's going to play in the demo and changing the camera angle at the very beginning. So let's go. And we missed it. Fun times. That's why I didn't want the timer to start right now. So basically, I have a small time window in which I need to press start 6 times. If I press start 5 times, it's gonna be I'm gonna be put in Gobi's Valley, and 7 times I'm gonna be put in in Click Lockwood. What I want to do is be put in Rusty Bucket Bay, the before to last level of the game, and it's the only level in which we can die during the demo. Is second time gonna be the charm? Let's see. And that's one too much. It's so hard to time without hearing anything, to be honest. Let's go again. It's okay, we have some buffer on the estimate, especially because of that kind of thing. I've literally no way to skip this. Third time should be the charm. Hope you like hearing the intro over and over. Inquiétez-vous pas, je vais vous le dire quand starter. There we go. And go. So basically what I did here, I manipulated the camera of the game to so Banjo throws himself off the engine room. So by doing that, the game doesn't really know what to do. It's not made to be done. So it puts you at the beginning of the level, just like when you die in the level. But you can actually play the game. A fun fact about this glitch is that since there's some cutscenes later on, like after you complete the game, they show a few cutscenes for some secret items, and because of these cutscenes, there's a character in Freeze's Peak which is called Watsa, who is not there, and is usually there on a normal save file. What it does, since this guy gives a Jiggy, so one of the collectibles in the game, actual 100% of this game is not possible with DDA at the moment. So unless we find a way to have this guy spawn, there will never be any 100% runs with using this glitch. So the goal of this category is to get enough notes and jiggies to complete the game. To do that, we're gonna need the 25 jiggies to unlock the last puzzle of the game, as well as 810 notes, which are used to open the last door needed to go to the last puzzle. Oops. 2, 3, 4, 5. Since I'm here, I'm gonna grab a few here.
Just gonna announce a quick donation from Nastras. Front page hype, $2.70.
Usually I would have gotten those on top of that boat, but sadly I fell. Oops. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab these ones later on. Since the note count is quite tight in this category, we're gonna make sure we get everything we need. So if any of you have seen an 100% run before, most of this level is basically the same as 100%. Biggest difference is that we skip some of the parts that are just slower, but the rest of the route and the rest of the level is actually quite similar. Oops.
So, as the organizer of the event, my name is G-Virus. I would like to thank everyone from Twitch who's watching right now. We're supporting a great cause. It's Autism Quebec. It's the foundation that actually helps people that's got the autism spectrum disorder. And from the bottom of my heart, because my son's actually on the spectrum, so it's crazy that we've got about 2,000 viewers right now. Thanks to Ali from Twitch who made this happen. I would like to thank you very much for that. And I'm at a loss for words. But please do enjoy the show, and welcome to everyone in chat.
On a un don de E.T. de 3 et 10 sous. Puis ça nous rend à 10
Oh, and to those wondering, what was that? We're actually a bilingual show. So the language is runner's choice. Being in Quebec, we have both French and English as official languages. But in chat, feel free to use the language of your choice. Don't be a stranger. We speak both languages. It's all good.
So before finishing the level here, I'm gonna go pick up the notes just in case the few notes I've missed earlier, I'm gonna grab them. Even though this loses a few seconds, it's gonna be still probably faster than not grabbing them and having to compensate later. And now we're back on track. For those who are wondering, the code here, 312111, is preset into the game. So it's written on the side of the boat, so you need to remember it usually to do this puzzle. Of course, after doing so many runs, you get to know it by heart. We're almost done with this level. What we're going to do right before going out, we're going to dead warp so we can get back at the very beginning of the level very quickly. Just gonna check something here. Of course, we're fine. Since I had to change the routing a bit, I was just making sure that we weren't missing anything, because the thing is, none of the levels are actually open right now. So we were in a level that was not open. So if I wanted to come back, it would have been impossible for me. So that was the before to last level of the game, Rossi Bucket Bay. Now that we're done with this one, we're gonna go unlock right now the last level of the game. In fact, not unlock it, but unlock the puzzle that's gonna unlock it later on. Usually you would need to be very far into the game to do this, but since we are already really close to this section, we're gonna do it right now. Which is going to enable us to get to that last level way earlier than we should. Here we're gonna use a glitch to clip into this pipe and get behind that door that we would usually need 640 nodes to get through. The clip itself is quite hard to explain, but basically we're accumulating speed as we were jumping onto the pipe at a specific spot. And as we get enough speed, we end up clipping through that pipe. So here we've unlocked the puzzle pad for the last level. As you can see, one thing I forgot to mention, since I am in a demo file, even though there was no jiggies or notes collected before that, we still have 25 Mumbo tokens, full eggs, full feathers, like full consumables overall. So we won't need any of these, any extras of these, and we also have all moves unlocked, so there's no need to do any glitch or any move unlocking to get these. Here I'm gonna activate this cauldron right here. Its counterpart is just beside the place where I was, although I need to not activate that other one because I'm gonna need it later to activate another glitch, which is the RBA glitch. Here, I'm gonna talk to Grantilda, which is Grantilda's sister. And one interesting fact about Grantilda is the fact that about Grantilda is that she knows her sister very well. So she's gonna tell her some secrets about Grantilda that we're gonna need very much later into the game, so we don't die in the puzzle at the end. So it was tuna, engine, and I don't remember. Tuna, engine. I think I know, but I'm gonna play it safe and not put it in. Qu'est-ce que vous avez dit? Witches. Alrighty, thank you guys. Always there for me. So these questions that I got the answers for are the only RNG element, like the only RNG answers in that final quiz. Every other question is randomized, but the answers themselves are not randomized. So they're going to be the same, like trivia questions about the game all the time. Like the answers are going to be the same. That's what I mean. Sorry. For any percent, we do not need to collect any extra honeycomb in the game. Nice thing about it is that it's faster, but the less nice thing about that is that we stay at 5 HP all throughout the game. So HP management is going to be very important here. We're going to try and not die inside the level, except for the death warp at the end. Another trivia bit about this this category is that Hundo has been 100%. It's been run quite a few times in multiple marathon. I've run the Xbox version for quite a few marathons already, but it's the first time that the any person category in Xbox is broadcasted in during a marathon. So yeah, world premiere. Let's give the orange to this little guy. Some might say it's DD. Some might say that the big guy is DK. Even though they resemble a lot, it's not them. Here, there's a way to jump in the water with the Jiggy, so it skips that small dance animation, that 4-second dance animation that we get when we do not, when we just land with the Jiggy normally. But it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. So we're done with this level for now already. Yeah. Buckle your seatbelts. And I'm gonna use a glitch called slope abuse, which basically is that inside this game, when you're on a slope, there's an invisible timer going back there, and this timer says when you're gonna start slipping. If you jump outside of the slope, if your shadow touches a flat ground, this timer resets. So that's why I was jumping out in and out of that of the slope. So next level is gonna be Treasure Trove Cove. Treasure Trove Cove is known to be one of the trickiest levels to play in 100%. While it's still tricky for any percent, I would say it's a bit less big of a deal than it is for Hundo. This is a level filled with flying sections, and since our health is quite low, we're gonna need to make sure that we do not die mid-level. Second HP block was inside the water, would have taken quite a while to get, so we're gonna just be a bit more careful and try to not lose it. Here, I'm using a trick called Quick Dive. If you're in the enter or exit Talon Trot animation while you're jumping in, while you're sliding in the water, it's gonna wait until the animation is done to actually start swimming. So we use that to get very far into the water, very deep into the water, very fast. This chest can be quite a pain. There is a way, like you can pick up this Jiggy and stay in flight. But for some reason, getting this Jiggy and staying in flight is relatively inconsistent when using this method. So here I'm gonna pick up this Jiggy in flight, most of this Jiggy's in flight, to skip the dance animation, because when you are either flying, swimming, transform, and in a few other of these in-game states, you do not have that animation that plays when you get the Jiggy.
Hey, so we got a donation from Zav Birdhouse for $10. Nice game, nice job, nice cause, good job à l'organisation et aux runners.
I'm gonna play it safe, go outside, or else I would have landed. Try this again. There we go. Every level in the game has a switch like that, which we call the witch switch, and it spawns a Jiggy or opens up a path to a Jiggy outside of the level. So here I jumped inside the shell at this specific spot so I could kill the guy without actually fighting him. And how we do that is that when he's talking, his hitbox is not actually there, so we can go right through him. Okay. Here the crab decided to kill me as I grabbed the Jiggy. It's alright, that's exactly what we wanted to do. Before going to the next level, we're gonna open up the last level of the game, which is Click Lockwood, as I said earlier, of which we unlocked the puzzle pad when we were back there. Here we're gonna talk to a second Bentilda. Hog. Sweaty. Oops, we skipped it. Hog, Sweaty, and Green. We're also gonna grab an extra life here. Since remember we are in a demo file, so we aren't in an actual save file. Since what's gonna happen if we game over in this file is that we're just gonna get thrown back to the main menu without any way to get back to where we were. So it was Hog. Other way around. Hog, Sweaty, and Green. So Hog, Hog, Sweaty. With those 6 sensors, I'm gonna be able to have a single pattern left at the very end of the game. So we completely securize any possible RNG that's left in this game. Or not in this game, but in the final quiz. Coming up is gonna be arguably one of the hardest skips of this run. Oops, that's what I thought. It's all right. We have quite a few tries that we can use for that. Basically, we try and hug the slope or stick to the slope, and in the corner of this slope, we can basically clip onto it if we have enough speed. So by being in flight while doing that, it's gonna let us fly out of bounds to enter the next level without opening it. There we go. So we're in. You need to be very careful when you're out of bounds like that, because if you get too far out of bounds, it's gonna spawn you back to the point where you entered the area. So it's gonna put us out of a flight. It would have put us out of flight. So it would have count as a miss for the trick. Yeah. So in this level, we're gonna grab all 100 notes, but only one Jiggy. There's a very inconsistent trick that we still go for here, which could have enabled us to get this Jiggy without having to fly into the pipe. And how it works is that when you do that big bomb attack, like the super high speed attack, uh, your hitbox gets extended just enough to actually grab the Jiggy. And if you do it at the very end of the attack, it's gonna just let you first stay in flight, and second not actually hit the pipe. Also, since I'm mostly just collecting notes now, I'm gonna just talk about the actual time and world record and all that stuff. For those who are wondering, because of that glitch that we found that lets us desync the demo, the Xbox version is now the fastest one for any percent. It's by about 2 minutes for now, world record wise. The 8-bit Beast has the world record with a time of 1 hour and 8 minutes. And Mittens is very close behind with 109. Here, I'm going to attempt something. And we missed, sadly. So another fun tidbit about this game that probably no one who isn't running this game know about is that you can actually punch these snowballs with a pretty specific timing, and it's going to give you one block of HP. And we need that one extra block of HP to get through that frozen area. Just gonna get second damage point here. And a few more here. The reason for that is that I want to be at 1 HP to try and go for that. There we go. So I died as the text box appeared, and by doing that, it skips about a 15-second dialogue with Mumbo, telling you how to get the tokens you need to transform. Since we're going to be transforming in the next level of this game, in Click Clock Wood, by skipping it now, we won't have half of the text that we would get if we didn't do that. So remember the first cauldron that we've activated in the game right after the first level? It's used to get back at this spot. There are two ways to get back there. The first one is this cauldron. The second one is that I could have used the same trick that I used to get in that last level that I did, but instead of going in the level, I could have gone in that door loading zone. It is a bit faster, but it is way more risky. Therefore, I'm not gonna do that in marathon just yet. Here, since we do not have the 640 notes needed to do to go through that door, we're gonna do that same glitch that we did earlier, and we're gonna get right there. So Bum. So Click Clock Wood is usually the last level in this game. I know I've mentioned it quite a few times, but it's still important to know since for us it's only the 4th or 5th level that we do. And to finish this game, we still need to go inside every single level since we need at least 810 notes. There are 9 levels with 100 notes in each, which means that there's no way to get more than 800 without going in every single level. So I'm gonna kill this guy just because of that specific reason. And we're gonna use what we call damage cancel. And to damage cancel like that, you simply need to ground pound. And an interesting fact about ground pounding in the game is that in the recoil section of the ground pound, so between the moment that you hit the floor and that you get back up, you're actually not invincible, but you are invincible to at least fall damage. I think you're might be wrong, but I think we're actually really invincible. Like there's not much that can hit us. So we can use that to just fall down very, 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 very tall heights. Or cancel some of the damage that some enemies could do to you. Don't need to go there. Here, see the Jiggy in the back of this house? There's 2 ways to get it. Or 3 even. First one is do a very risky jump inside the house. Second one is you can just shoot an egg from the back of the house, and it's gonna extend the hitbox far enough so you can get the Jiggy. The third way of getting it is if you do not want to do the risky jump and you do not know about that second strat, you can just wait in the next season, and in the next season the house is going to be completed and you're going to be able to get the Jiggy without falling. So since I lost a life earlier, I'm gonna go safe and not death warp here. I could have just death warp out of that. It's usually the fastest way of going out of here. But remember that death in the last level, I do not want to be at 0 lives at pretty much any time into the run. The reason for that is we're gonna use a lot of out of bounds in this run, and these out of bounds, if you have 0 lives and you void out of the out of bound, as I talked about earlier, you're just gonna end up game overing since the game cannot respawn you. There we go. Here we do not need to unlock the last season since we're not going there at all. So we're gonna completely skip that. So all that's left to do for us is to go in here and dead wart once again after grabbing the 4 nodes. If the game wants us to get up there. There we go. I thought I had way less HP than that. It's okay. So here I'm gonna grab the remaining nodes inside this season. The reason why we're going back here is that we're gonna transform, after grabbing all these nodes, into a bumblebee. And the bumblebee has quite an interesting property of being to clip pretty much everywhere. And you're gonna see how this interesting property comes into play pretty soon, I guess. Another interesting thing about a bee is that it can fly. And this game is not made to be able to fly everywhere. So let's see how it's going to be useful for us. But before that, I need to activate a very important glitch called RBA. If I were playing the N64 version of the game, I would have been able to do that glitch by just clipping out... oops, almost forgot a Jiggy, and I'm also going to grab an extra life before going out. But on the Xbox version, this specific way of doing RBA doesn't work. So I'm going to use another method called the Cauldron RBA, and that's the exact reason why I did not activate the second Cauldron when I got near this level. Ouais, tu peux, pas trop.
All right, everyone. So here's a little bit of explanation of what's going on here. Basically, NoReset is at the Pixel Challenge, which is an international game jam competition happening here in Quebec City at the terminal in the port of Quebec, and they graciously invited us to their event. And also, there's going to be a bunch of activities, a bunch of installations for the general public that are going to be available for everyone basically on Saturday, on the 7th. But they wanted us to be here to start the speedrunning marathon today on Thursday. So we're going to go through for the next 3 days. Go on horaro.org/pxc/2018 for the full schedule, or just click on the link that's at the bottom of the Twitch page, and that way you can know what's coming up. Like I said, it's a segmented marathon. We're also raising money for Autism Quebec, which is a foundation that helps getting resources for people affected with the autism spectrum disorder. And if everyone donated just $2 right now, we'd be way above our goal. We hope to raise $5,000 for the foundation over the course of those 3 days. So I would like to thank everyone for their support and their generosity in advance. And no matter, every donation counts. From the smallest to the greatest, it doesn't matter. It's for a great cause. Those people need more resources. It's not, even though there's more awareness being raised about autism in general, it's still not up there to what it should be. And a lot of people are struggling getting the necessary resources they need for their day-to-day lives. And that's where these foundations, these organizations step in for those people. So once again, thank you everyone, and also to our friends down south in the United States watching us. I mean, if you don't donate $2, that's like $200 for us, right? So don't, just go crazy. Thanks everyone, really appreciate it.
So we're back. As you could have seen, I wasn't able to activate the glitch properly, or at least I'm still the bee outside of this place. And what happened is that I got detransformed by Mumbos in that specific spot. But what we want to do is to get detransformed, but at the same time activate the cauldron, which is going to activate a cutscene and cut the detransform short. That was a late one. I think I'm still fine. Okay, we're fine. Let's go. So glitch activated. So from here, pretty much everything I'm gonna do is unintended. Because there's no way the devs could have known that people were gonna use the bee from the last level to complete other levels. So that's precisely what we're gonna do. But since we haven't unlocked most of these levels, we're gonna go out of bounds and just enter them from out of bounds. The hitbox of the bee is also very interesting. We're gonna be abusing that a bit, since it can extend the hitbox very far of the usual hitboxes, as well as it also has a small base hitbox. Even though it's not used that much, it's gonna be very useful for us later on. Here we're gonna get out of bounds. Gonna grab this Jiggy. And even though a bee cannot swim, a bee can fly. And we've learned today that bees can fly underwater. It can also walk underwater and jump underwater. There's only one thing that's sad about this bee, is that it walks very slowly. Chat, you can go all in with the bee puns. Now's the time. As soon as this dialogue triggers, Every single crab is gonna try and run to me. They can be very annoying since as they be, there's no way to kill an enemy. So we're gonna use that extended hitbox to get this Jiggy here without opening the gate. So I need to be very careful about these kind of things. These guys do 2 HP of damage, and I only have 5 HP. I missed a note there, I should be fine still. I can go back later for it. Can grab the extra life there, just to be safe. I'm just gonna wait for this boat to go up so we can enter this whale shark mechanical thing called Clanker. So inside Clanker's belly are saw blades. Here, we're gonna clip through that invisible wall in this roof. If we can get there. There we go. Now we're out of bounds. We need to be careful to not go too far out of bounds, because else we're gonna get spawned in the very beginning of the level, and we still need to do stuff here. I was talking about the smaller hitbox. That's where it comes into play. The bee can actually just walk there in those very dangerous saw blade without getting hurt. But as soon as I jump, I get hit. There we go. So, now that we've got everything here, we're gonna exit this level. That's another instance where the smaller hitbox is very useful. We can just walk through that gate instead of opening it. Here, I'm going out of bounds so I can do quite a precise jump to get to this level's loading zone. Might take me a few tries, but we should get it. There we go. That's a good bee. So Bubble Gloop Swamp is all about collecting tons of notes. We will not be collecting any Jiggy here, we will just be grabbing a ton of notes. Doesn't look like it, but controlling the bee is very, very, very hard. Or at least having precise control over the bee is very hard.
So I'm gonna announce another donation from Mittens Hug. He or she donated $6.38. I could hardly bear the thought of there being no bee pun donations, but can understand the bird end of thinking up a good one. Happy this is going to a good
I hearing-
cause, and good luck with the rest of the run.
Am I hearing bee puns? I love you all.
It's all about them bee puns.
So we're gonna get the last few notes here and gonna be done with the level. Um, there we go. Okay. I didn't want to explain this trick beforehand for the single reason that if I were to miss it, the run could have died right there. Because there's a chance that you get de-transformed after going there, and if you do not hit the loading zone at the same time, and then you get de-transform, since you cannot activate the B glitch anymore, the run is basically dead. So now the run is secured. There's next to no reason why you wouldn't be able to see the end of this run. That's one of the two places where the run could have died right there. The first one being doing RBA. If you activate the cauldron and de-transform at the same time, there's a slim chance that you just get you actually get de-transformed instead of staying into the B. It happens to a few runners. Mittens, looking at you. Almost got that jiggy. But yeah. It's a these two tricks are some of the reasons why you've never seen this run before in Marathon. Yep. But wait.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a quick public service announcement. We've just found out just now, within the last 5 seconds, that we're having internet issues and that we're dropping frames apparently. And it's a very new issue that hasn't been happening for the past half hour, and it just came to our attention. But all jokes aside, we're working actively with the venue to get it fixed and to prevent the frame drops. Unfortunately, dropping the bit rate or trying to modify anything on our side with OBS wouldn't actually fix the problem, because the actual problem is that there was a boat in the St. Lawrence River that cut a piece of fiber. So that has caused a myriad of problems for the venue for the past 48 hours, and they're working actively to fix it. I've lowered the bitrate as much as I can, but please bear with us. I promise the wait is going to be worth it, and we're going to have more of a kick-ass show to give you guys. And in the meantime, it's still for a great cause, so donate generously, and we'll try and up the frames and limit the drops as much as we can. But please just keep in mind we're actively working on it. So thank you for your understanding.
Drop the frames, save the bee. Another interesting property about the bee is that it does not get hit in those areas where the ground would actually hurt you. So either this sandy area, this thing, or the Piranha water, or the what is it called? The brambles. So we can use that to just get every single note without getting hit.
I would simply ask of everyone to just be patient. We're Hive actively working on a solution. You're all very sweet. Thank you, all of you, every single one of you. And please, please do bear with us.
Bear puns are going to be pretty soon. Hello? Loading zone, please. So that's another instance of extending the hitbox of the bee enough to get stuff that's usually out of reach. We are not supposed to be flying here, so for some reason there's a hole on top of that house. So we can simply use that hole to get into the level. And there we go. Last level before going into the final quiz and final boss. So enjoy the last few seconds as we're gonna transform back into Banjo for good. So now we are done with this level. So now that we have more than 810 notes, which is the minimum needed amount to finish the game, and we have 25, I'm gonna say loose jiggies, we're gonna be able to use that to actually complete the game. So let's get back in the Click Lockwood area. Let's get started with the quiz. Let's get done with this game. that way, we've got enough notes. We can actually get through these doors that we used to skip at the beginning of the run. So this quiz is going to be pretty straightforward. There are tiles on which I'm going to step, and each icon is a category of question that Grunty is going to ask me. And as I progress through that, there's going to be those Grunty squares, the purple squares, and those are going to be those RNG questions I was talking about. So the answers I got earlier, I put that into what they call the furnace fun calculator, which basically gives me the most likely pattern based off the answers I give it. So this is what reduces my RNG to basically nothing. But if I hadn't talked to any Brentilda, I could have just put the good or wrong answer into that calculator, and it would have narrowed down the pattern up until there's only one left. That's for those dead squares. Like those skull squares are dead squares, and usually when you miss a question, magazine. So when you miss a question on a dead square, it just kills you. So you need to start the quiz all over again. But there's something interesting about these squares too. Blue eggs. Nope, it was notes. I should have listened. Those timer square are mini games. So I took a joker earlier on, so I could just skip those mini games, which take forever and that are quite risky health-wise. Party. Sure.
So we got another donation from Mr. Dino023 for $4. Gruntilda always speaks in rhymes, so wanted to say one everyone likes. The bear and bird are now back in action, but watching the bee was such an attraction. Show the witch who is the boss here, and pray for the furnace run RNG.
So what I did just before just as he was announcing the donation, I've got purposefully a dead square wrong But since I was standing at a very precise spot onto the board, instead of throwing me off the board, it actually threw me back onto the board. But the game thinks you're supposed to be dead, so every wall is not there. So it lets me just finish the quiz without answering any more question and just go through with the game. Here I threw a few eggs to entirely skip the first phase of the boss. Basically, each egg shot is a hit, and we need 4 or 5 hits for each phase to progress. Nope. 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 There we go. So here it's 3 egg shots per side, 4 times side. This thing is a homing missile. Usually the only way to avoid them is by using a gold feather, which is the invulnerability item of this game. But by using the ground pound recoil, like we did earlier to fall down, it cancels the damage that it would usually give you. One, two. There. And that's 4. So we're done with the flying section, which is, in my opinion, the trickiest part of the fight, especially to do it fast. I think I was too far. Yeah, I was too far. If I were a bit closer, I would have been able to activate this Jinjo during the Jinjo cutscene. So would have overlapped both cutscenes and effectively skipped that one. But that's plain. So final phase of this game, of the fight, time is gonna be coming up in about 45 seconds, unless I mess up badly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So time is gonna be when the Ginjonator cutscenes activates. This happens when I shoot 4 eggs into each of the sides. Just gonna be super careful here, since I'm at super low health. And time. So that was Banjo-Kazooie Any Percent DDA, played on the Xbox version of the game. While this final cutscene is playing, I want to thank, first of all, the organizers, Dim, G-Virus. You're a great guy, doing great events. I love you as an event organizer, of course, and as a friend. You've all been super helpful to everyone, always been here for everyone. thanks to everyone else helping out there, to everyone watching at home, watching from here. Uh, um, BK community, as usual, can't say it enough. It's a great community, super helpful one. Everyone's welcome, from beginners to veteran speedrunners. We're here to help. You can play either on the N64 version, Xbox version, emulator. We do not care. We're just here to help you and to have fun. Um, so yeah, just a quick note about donations, I guess. Again, this every donation that gets collected here goes straight to Autism Quebec. It's as Tim said, and I think I couldn't say it better than him. But anyways, it's an organization that helps people with autism trouble disorder or autism syndrome disorder, spectrum. Sorry. uh, so yeah. As a father of a son that that is affected by these by this, it's how can I say? I want to give a very heartfelt thanks to everyone who's donating. Uh, it's a cause that I have at heart, and I think that them too has it at heart, and everyone here. Uh, so yeah, I guess that's it for me. The next one is gonna be Shokushu playing Child of Light. So see y'all everyone, and have a good day.